Jerome Robinson comes in for Washington. First 7 of the game to the Thunder. 2 minutes in. Quick shot, and that one is off as well. Corner announcing his return. Emphatically is Muscala. There's a lazy turnover committed by Washington. And the Thunder can add to its lead. Already up by 8 here in this first quarter.
Well, good positive signs for your defense. You're bottling, them inside with their offense. Now, when you shrink the floor, you always
5 like he is today. He has certainly stepped up, and Muscala had an opportunity to leave Oklahoma City prior to signing and all those flurry trades that were made last summer.
That's where the mental aspect of this, restart really becomes into play for all the players down there.
Washington.
Muscala came out on fire after coming out of NBA protocol. A really big help on offense.
And there is an immediate drive by Grant. So Washington, after trailing by 15, has cut it down to 6. Help defense came over to knock it free. Baisley forces that turnover. SGA back outside. Baisley left wide open for 3, and that time he's able to knock it down.
Right now, you're sensing what's happening. The pace gets up a little bit. All of a sudden, the Wizards have trouble trying to track players in transition.
Another 3 for Washington, and that one is good to go here in the first quarter.
Now Washington shoots the 3 at about 35% a game, which is right where the Thunder are. So that's a tough one there. The ball kind of rolled around, can easily get called for offensive goaltending.
Well, we should mention that Billy Donovan was called in.
And he put it away from the shot blocker. I tell you, that's a tough shot.
Washington trying to make it 2 in a row. The lead was the Thunder's biggest of the game.
This also from the Thunder as well.
Rare miss by Muscala. Baisley's got 11 points in the second.
Calls his own number. Much needed bucket. Washington, they're a team that's trying to really just make whatever kind of consistency inside this bubble they can.
Let it go from downtown. 4 out of 8. Smith trying to split a double team back outside, and that 3 is good.
And then kick out to shooters.
SGA dancing with the basketball. Series of moves, stutter step, and took a hip ball.
So it might look like he's struggling when really a lot of times I think he's learning the game. In the last couple of games he's been learning the PG spot.
Wizards got off to a real hot start, maybe trying to make a push toward the 9, maybe even the 8 seed. Get into that play-in action. As that 3 is off the mark. Washington
maintain, and that's what it's been. And certainly there's been a few guys off the bench that we can point our fingers at that have been solid.
I would assume that it's just naturally hard. A team like the Lakers or Utah or Denver, never quite the same. And even for us as broadcasters, you kind of feel that emanating from a game like this.
Right, and without, your best players.
Schofield from the corner, able to playing with so much confidence is Chris Paul.
He's doing a lot right now on the defensive end and then setting up his teammates.
Because being a point guard, that's sort of the area that he operates in more, as opposed to a shooter, Mike, who might be more comfortable down in the corner.
Absolutely. And he never takes. Gallo was fantastic, has been fantastic at that 5 spot in the absence of Steven Adams, and also not having Nerlens Noel. And you find a way to make plays happen as transition.
Things that he was really trying to emphasize was his team playing with more consistency, which is only going to come in time, but it's been hard finding the consistency with guys out, having 3 more starters. I shouldn't say starters, but certainly key players out today with Dennis Schroeder.
Lou Dort not experimenting. I'll take that back, folks. You didn't hear that. But being able to give Shea some time at the point guard position in the absence of Schroeder. So everybody's being shifted around right now. I don't think ideally Billy Donovan wants to play Baisley at the 5, but he had to. by default. You don't have any. And there's the playmaking of Shea and the spacing of Hami being able to stand out there. I mean, I know he's one of those.
Restart, but he's done his best work offensively as either the roll man or hanging out there on the baseline like we saw in that massive dunk. Really able to utilize him kind of as a power forward on off.
Papa Shooter still at home. Congratulations to he and his beautiful wife on the birth of their second child. Also in the virtual fan crowd we saw.
That back-to-back tomorrow against Phoenix, a 1:30 tip. Every team in the Orlando bubble at some point playing one back-to-back. And so the Thunder's coming tomorrow.
Who's on second? You know, that kind of thing. You know, and he comes up with this huge, what I call home run this afternoon, getting all these guys to stay focused. Made really good decisions with the basketball. You know, you can easily walk, you can throw a turnover. He just kind of looked at the defense, what they were doing, and took advantage. You know, certainly taking advantage of this bubble in place and a lot of time and a lot of practice together.
Don't miss out on your chance to become a season ticket member 2000.